It was 8:27 p.m. And at that minute, the earthquake happened.
Chapter 2. A Table for Two.
Marco stood at the door of Sylvia's flat and watched Gabriel leaving. He looked carefully at his clothes and his shoes. Why didn't Sylvia open the door? She was in there. Then, suddenly, it opened. "Sylvia, dear," Marco said, "you look wonderful." He stopped. Sylvia didn't look wonderful. Her face was red, and she looked unhappy. Gabriel said something to her, Marco thought. What was it? That young man doesn't like me, and I don't like him. He followed Sylvia into the sitting room. "I'm nearly ready," she said. "Have a drink. I'll come in a minute." Marco knew the Delgado sitting room well. He went to the table and got a drink. Then he sat down in an expensive armchair. He liked the flat. There were beautiful pictures on the walls, and everything in the room looked very expensive. Sylvia lived with her mother. Her father was dead. Before he died, Mr. Delgado had a good job. He had cars and friends and a lot of money. But the Delgados weren't a rich family now, and Sylvia's mother was ill. The doctor often came and visited her. Sometimes Mrs. Delgado had to go to hospital. She had to have good food and expensive medicines. The Delgados didn't have much money now. Marco didn't know about the Delgados' money. He saw their pictures, their jewelry, and other expensive things, and he liked them all. "Sylvia," Mrs. Delgado called weakly from her bedroom. "Are you there, dear? What are you doing? Is somebody with you? Who is it?" Marco heard Sylvia's answer. "It's all right, Mother," she said. "It's only Gabriel. We're going to see a film." Ah, thought Marco. So Mrs. Delgado doesn't like me. Mrs. Delgado likes dear Gabriel. He went back to the table and had another drink. "Perhaps you don't like me, Mrs. Delgado," Marco thought. "But your daughter does. Oh, yes. She likes me very much." He smiled. 10 minutes later, Sylvia came into the room again. Her dark hair was beautiful. Her big brown eyes were excited. Her dress was very pretty. She smiled happily. "Hello, Marco," she said. "I'm ready now." He put down his glass and stood up. "We're going to have a wonderful, wonderful evening," he said. Outside, it was very hot. Marco drove his car fast. Sylvia felt the wind in her hair. It was good. Gabriel hasn't got a car, thought Sylvia. She turned and looked at Marco. "Where are we going?" she asked. "I'm taking you to the Oasis restaurant," Marco said. "It's the best restaurant in town. It's very expensive, of course, but nothing is too good for you, Sylvia. I know a lot of girls, but you're the most beautiful." The Oasis restaurant was 2 kilometers outside the town. There were a lot of big cars outside it. Marco pushed open the doors. Inside, it was nearly dark. There were pretty little lights on the tables, and a man played quiet music. Some people danced. Good evening, sir, the manager
昨
said
日
to
の朝
Marco.
4時に
I called this afternoon, said Marco.
昨日の
I
朝
want a table for
今
two.
日の朝4時 109.60 がマック
Please
ス
follow
で
me, the
今
manager said.
109.50 なんだけど
Marco and Sylvia followed him to the back
もっ
of
と
the
下がると思っ
restaurant.
たけど下
Their
が
table was near the door to the kitchen.
109.3 台まで下がってその
Waiters
後
went in and out with food
そ
and
のあた
drink.
り維持するかなと思ったら
Marco looked at the manager
まだ上がっ
angrily.
て 109.49
I don't want this
ぐらい
table,
まで上がって
he
きて
said. We're going to dance later. We want to be near the dancing. I have to have a better table. I'm sorry, sir, said the manager. I can't do that. We're busy this evening. Come early next time. Then I can put you near the dancing. He began to walk away. Wait a minute, said Marco. I'm not happy with this. You've got to... I'm very sorry, said the manager again.
109点前
I
半まで
can't
下
give
が
you
る
a
のか
better table
109
now.
後
Later,
半まで
perhaps.
上がるのか
But, said Marco.
全然わかる
People began to
Yahoo-
turn round and
予
look
想
at
人が
Marco.
予想できることではあり
Sylvia
ません
looked at the floor. Marco
相場
always
の
did
流れに
this.
合わせて
He always wanted the best place in the restaurant, in the theatre, or at the football game.
1分足で上が
Sylvia
ってき
put
て
her
た
hand
の
on
は
Marco's
ずっと上
arm.
がってきてたのが、
This table's okay.
まあ、こう来たのでここは
I don't want to
こう見ると
change. Why? Be
下がって
quiet,
くるの
my
かなとは
dear,
思うけど
said Marco. Leave this to me. He turned back to the manager. Now, he said, you listen to me. Everybody's watching us now, thought Sylvia.
こ
She
れた
caught
く
his
さん
arm
動いてるよう
again.
に見えるけど上
I'll
下
see you
して
in a minute, she
幅
said.
が短いの
I'm
で
going to the washroom.
ここも結
She
局
walked between the tables to a door at the other end of the restaurant. She saw young men and women dancing. Older people laughed and talked. They all looked
まあ
happy.
ここから下がっ
The washroom was outside the restaurant in a small
トップ
garden.
にトップからま
Sylvia
た下がっ
opened the
てきて
door
るので
and walked
明
into
ら
the
かに
garden. It was
下がっても今日の
8:27 p.m. And
最
at that minute, the
加
earthquake
減は
happened.
109.3 あたりまでなんだ
Chapter
けど
3.
今後どうなるか
Sylvia's story.
The ground moved under Sylvia's feet. Help! What is it? What's happening? She thought. There was a terrible noise, and she looked up into the sky. Perhaps the noise and the shaking came from a plane. Suddenly, the lights went out, and it was nearly dark. Then people started to scream.
今日もありがとうご
Sylvia
ざいまし
didn't
た
move. She couldn't move.